Hey, this is Tom Llewellyn with Civil, and welcome back to our blog. We kind of went offline for the last few months for the express reason we wanted to see what Joe was doing, where he's going, what he's trying to do, and kind of be able to balance where are we now, what was Trump doing, the Republicans doing, how does that compare, where does that leave us in terms of our future, which is what Civil's all about. We're a group of independent-minded thinkers trying to create policies that we think both parties, if they had independent minds, might agree on and help move our nation forward. But what are our choices right now? So when we look at our government, let me just say this. I work for an enterprise software company where we benchmarked companies on whether they were laggards or leaders in terms of how they conducted their business. And if you did that to our American government, we're not just laggards. It's literally the worst run organization in the world, poor leadership, poor business practices, terrible IT infrastructure, a group of people going nowhere slowly, right? So what are our choices? We have Democrats. They want to change our government to a national government, a kind of national socialist government maybe, that is big, complex, and expensive, and where spending is the measure of success, not value, right? On the Republican side, they tell you, hey, we like that limited federal government the Constitution designed, but we think you just need to spend less in places. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they produce a complex, confusing, expensive government where spending is the measure of performance, right? And it shouldn't be, right? So we have a problem, right? We got two choices, and they're both kind of mediocre. At the end of the day, both produce economic output of around 2.5% in those non-COVID years, right? Republicans do a little better, Democrats kind of in that 2 range in this century, right? So we can't do that, though. And that might sound good. 2 is fine. It's a new normal. It's not acceptable, though, and here's why. So China, who is growing at 6%, who has a 30-year plan to kick our keisters to the side of the road, are doing just that. If they grow at 6%, in 10 years, they'll be bigger than us. If you think they're belligerent now, wait until then. In another 20 years, they'll be twice our size. They will be the superpower because they have so much money to spend on the military, on buying friends, other autocrats and dictators around the world. There'll be a huge problem unless we start growing in the 4.5% range. Can we do that? Civil's proposals do exactly that. And over the next 10 weeks, we'll talk about those things, right? So what can you do? If you want better choices, we need your help. First, join us every Thursday. We're going to do this every Thursday. We will post at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If we get enough people, we'll start doing live sessions or potentially even live sessions with Zoom so everybody can interact better. Second, go to our website. Join us there if you think you have some ideas, you just want to share, you want to be involved in some way, let us know. If you just want to be a participant that listens and on email chains, do that. If you really think we're going the right way, $10 helps us get to 500 people, right? $10. We're a Netflix kind of group. No big donations, right? We don't want any big donors. Big money's killing politics, and we'll talk about that at one point. If you want to do a Netflix $10 donation over multiple months, you just help us even more. Help us find more people so we can fund more interesting ventures and more interesting solutions, right? Finally, don't miss us next week. We're going to talk about how do you bridge the gap? How do you bridge two completely polarized political parties? How do you build those pillars in between where you get discussions versus these Twitter wars that keep going on? It's just disgusting. So join us for that, right? And we'll see you next week. Thanks.